So our final highlight on the corrugated sections, I'm going to use a mixture of a little bit of silver and the light gray just to give it that hint of metallic essence, I guess you could say. I don't want to overdo it because corrugated iron that's laid out in the weather for 30 years doesn't have much of that metallic sheen left. You can tell it's metal, but it's not bright and shiny like when it was new. Although they're not exceptionally shiny even when they're brand new. They're not chrome, they're galvanized. But anyway, let's mix that up and put some on. Okay, so we'll lay a bit of this on here. And this is, you can go a little bit heavy on this. It's not really a dry brush. More of an overbrush, but you just want to be able to just get that hint of metal on the high spots. And that'll kind of help sell the look that it's corrugated iron, Wrigley tin, whatever you want to call it. Alright, we'll finish that up, be right back. Alright, and there's our highlight applied there. And as you can see, that really, between the wood highlight and the metal highlight, you've got a really good contrast of textures and color that I think will look really great once this is done. So we've got the top part just about finished, so we'll put that aside and we'll get ready to do the bottom. Alright, so we're going to dry brush the main body of the house with just some white. It should offset this brown staining on it and give it kind of a scruffy appearance, but make it pop a little bit. So we'll get a little bit of white on our palette. Like most things in this hobby, less is more. So go kind of light on your dry brushing until you figure out what you're doing and build up from there. It's really tough to take the dry brushing off. I mean, you can kind of paint over it, but then just go light and yeah, you'll start to see what's going on there. And it doesn't really matter at this point if you get it on the windows and everything. We'll pick those out separately once we're done dry brushing all the walls. Alright, so we'll continue all the way around and we'll be back. Alright, so we've gone all the way around and it ended up being more of an overbrush than a dry brush. I went back and made it a little heavier. But it got the effect I wanted. It was fairly white, but still a little bit dirty. And you can see the kind of grainy texture. So not bad at all. Kind of happy with that. So we will get ready to paint the windows. So we'll set that up. Alright, so in order to build up the aged wood look of the windows, I'm going to start with some of our usual pewter gray. I thin that out a little bit. And we'll pick that out on the window frames. And neatness counts here. Okay, but just pick out the frame itself. Give it a good, if thin, coat. And then when that dries, we'll put a wash on it and we'll dry brush it up, and then we'll stipple on a little bit of color, like the paint's peeling, and it'll give it a really nice effect. So I'll continue on with that and we'll be back. Alright, so we put the base color gray on all of those windows. This is another place where making those windows stick out ever so slightly makes it easier to catch that edge with your brush. If they lay in there too flat, it can be a little tough. But if you take your time, you can get it. So we'll let that dry a little bit, and then we'll do the next step, which will be a black wash on the windows. And for our black wash, we're going to just use regular black paint. We're going to thin that out a little bit and add a little bit of our magic wash. Make sure our paint has a nice consistency before we try to add the wash component. And let's see, we probably need a slightly larger brush to apply that. So we'll use this one. And we'll get that in there. And that'll help accentuate that grain, as well as cover up any little spots we missed. That'll help camouflage that a little bit. Alright, so we'll, if you get too much, just wipe a little bit off. We'll do that all the way around. Alright, so we got that wash applied. That helped define the windows a bit. So we will continue that, let that dry a little bit, and then we will start dry brushing that up, and we'll finally apply a little bit of stippled peeling paint, and should be good to go. And I should add, I also put a little bit of wash on this bit of exposed lath. A lot of the houses are covered with plaster, and there's like a crisscross wooden lath section underneath. So that was a low spot. Instead of trying to fill it in, I just made it a broken spot in the wall. But I put a little bit of wash in there to help define that. Okay, and our first dry brushing coat will be our Quaker Gray. And this is pretty much, if you've been watching my other videos, this is pretty much how I generally always do aged wood. Dark gray, black wash to accentuate the grain, and then start dry brushing up with this light gray and then some maple sugar tin. And you just kind of want to catch the edges. Give it a little extra definition. That'll also pick up some of that wood grain. So you can start to tell the difference already between those windows. Alright, so we'll do that to all of those, and we'll be back. Alright, so we've got the light gray dry brushed on, including on the door frame. all the way around, and that really started to accentuate the windows. So now we'll do our second highlight with maple sugar tan. And you don't have to use the same specific colors I'm using, just the sort of the tone, the color. Don't get hung up on specific paints or brands or anything like that. If you find a paint that works, just use that. And you know, the hobby police aren't going to come take your buildings. Okay, just very lightly. You can really see that wood grain start to pop there. Okay, so we will do that all the way around, and we'll be right back. Okay, so there's all of our windows highlighted, and it really did bring them out. It made them pop a little bit, so I'm very happy with that. So we're going to take the door, which we gave the same treatment to earlier, and we're going to stipple on, make it look like peeling paint. We're going to use military blue. And you can use any number of colors. The one that seems to be, especially for window frames, the most common that I've seen, and I got way too much paint there, is, you know, kind of a various shades of blue. But, you know, it's the zone, so make it the way you want it. So, I'll take a brush that's not too rigid. It's got some good snap to it still. And we'll get a little bit of paint on it, kind of work it in that way, and then we'll just stipple that on. Give it a good worn look. And it's good, you know, you can see the aged wood show through, but you can still tell that at one time that was painted. So we'll very, very carefully do that to the windows as well. And that'll help accentuate the sort of abandoned nature of the house, if it is truly abandoned. But it'll make it look like at one time this was a well-maintained abode, and it is not currently in that same state. Alright, so we'll get all those and we'll be right back. If you do get a little ham-handed and kind of get outside the lines, just take a brush with some clean water on it. You can kind of erase your mistakes. It's one of the reasons not to go too heavy on it in the first place, is if you do mess up, it's a lot easier to correct. Alright, so we've got that done. All of the windows have that last little bit of peeling paint sort of applied. And we've got our door, which we'll glue into place here in a moment. But overall, I think it gives it a good effect. So we'll start setting this up on the base, and we'll be right back. So I want to get this set up on the base so that'll start drawing, and we'll have time to do some other things, and then we'll come back to finish the basing. I just put a little bit of PVA on here. Not sure what that is. stuck. That was good. Alright, so put our cap back on the glue. Alright, and as you can tell, I had this sort of pre-measured, and I always do, my bases generally have kind of very rounded, very naturalistic edges. I don't do a lot of hard edges and angles. I think they look better, unless you're doing some kind of a cityscape thing and you're trying to make a slab of concrete. If it's just natural ground, I think it looks better and more organic to the board or the table if you kind of round everything. And this is just my usual mat board treated with sandable sealer. So we'll glue that down and we'll let that dry for a little bit, and we'll get ready to glue our door in place the same way. And in the meantime, we're going to add some more rust effects to our corrugation.